Mike McCool here in the Royal Examiner studio, and with me today I have Dr. Jeff Alban. He is the director of the Blue Ridge Singers, and as well as some other directors of music, I think at St. John's and other places, right?
And Christendom College.
You were like the go-to guy for this type of choral.
Happy to have the job because we have a lot of fun in what we do.
I know you do. And you're burning the candle at both ends sometimes, and
especially at this time of year.
Yeah, Easter is always a big time for this.
People always think Christmas is worse, but I'm here to tell you that at least in the Catholic Church, the Easter week is that is everything.
Well, that is everything. I mean, the resurrection is everything, right?
Yep. But it's a lot of different services back to back, and they're happening in short order.
Yeah,
Whereas Christmas, it's just once and done.
Yeah. You know, Easter's a lot later this year.
That's true. And it also extends.
It's giving you more time to get stuff done.
I would love for it to be that way. But we still have to sing anthems every Sunday.
Yes. So the singers are starting their spring concert. When does all that start?
Blue Ridge Singer season is upon us, and our first concert will be up on Friday, April 25th, and that'll be at the Front Royal Presbyterian Church at 7:30. The show goes to Winchester on Sunday, April 27th. That'll be at 3 o'clock at the First Baptist Church. Then we take the show to Manassas as part of their concert series at All Saints Catholic Church. And then we'll do it one final time at our rehearsal location out in Upperville, Trinity Episcopal at 3 o'clock on May 4th.
Well, you've got them all right together then. Bang, bang, bang.
Yep, it's 2 weekends in a row.
Yeah.
But it's spread out enough that the choir gets a little bit of a breather.
Did we go to Manassas last time?
We always go to Manassas in the spring. When I moved here, the girl who was my predecessor at St. John's was married to Bill Atwood, who was from Connecticut, and he and I had gone to organ camp together when we were in high school. So we got to know each other again, and he was the music director at All Saints at the time. And then when I took over with Blue Ridge Singers, he invited me to be on their concert series, and we've been singing there for almost 13 years.
Because once they get you in, it's hard to get out, right?
Well,
but it's a great place to do it.
It's a good concert, and it's on a Tuesday at 7:30. I didn't say that earlier in the video, but that's Tuesday, April 29th at All Saints. But it's a devoted crowd of people, and they are there every year without fail. And it doesn't matter how crummy the weather is or how dark it is at night. We always have at least 100 people there.
That's good. That's good.
And it's a great big room, and Father Ruse, who's the pastor there, he's very supportive of the whole thing. And Tim Lewicki is currently the music director there. And since Bill has left, he went back to take another church job in Connecticut. Tim's kept it going, and
it's great.
We love to do it. So we get to share the music with the people on that side of the hill.
So what's the repertoire this year?
Our program is entitled Anchored in Song, and the anchor piece for the program is called The Lighthouse Keeper, which is a brand new composition by Jake Runestad. It was finished in January of 2024. I love Runestad's music. We've done plenty of it before. If you're a Blue Ridge Singer groupie, you may remember probably 9 years ago we sang the first piece by him that we explored called Nyan Nyan, and it had a whole bunch of nonsense syllables in it. Lots of rhythmic interest to it, the harmonic interest as well. Of course, the piece made no sense so far as the text was concerned.
Right.
But his musical style, it speaks to my ear, and I think also the Blue Ridge Singers' ears, and I would say the concert audience people as well. It's a 5-movement piece for choir, string orchestra, and piano, and it's about 5 moments in Runestad's life that he spent with specific friends of his, and it's 5 different poems, one of them written by himself. And that's the title piece. The 4th movement is called The Lighthouse Keeper. But it's a big wash of sound. Every movement is very different, and I won't say it's light music. It's a bit heavy, but it incorporates all of his compositional elements, because one of the movements does have the nonsense syllable component to him.
He's not going to let that go.
Correct. But he's trying to evoke, I think, the motion of the waves in the ocean.
Right.
And the choir is singing "Munna, munna, munna, munna" over and over, and just on one note. But the dynamic context of that line is a crescendo and then a decrescendo. But every voice part is doing it at a different time. So you get the sense of all these waves sort of running into each other.
Yeah.
While that's happening, two other parts of the choir, then they sing a great big melody with real text to go along with that. So it's exciting, if nothing else.
Okay. So is that your key piece in the
Yes,
program?
that is the big one.
Because you always have one that's any special instrumentation this year?
But we will have the orchestra again.
Okay.
Last year we had our magnum opus moment when we did the Misa Tango with the orchestra and then the bandoneon.
Right.
This will be very much the same thing. We just won't have the bandoneon component.
Okay.
But we got players coming, a lot of them from Shenandoah University, and then some contacts from last year's orchestra who had such a good time last year they just wanted to come back to play with us.
Yeah. You know, there's not a lot of opportunity to play around the area. This is kind of a good thing for them to be in front of an audience.
For sure. And I think we're actually going to have a high school student in the orchestra playing viola this go around. So just trying to get the youth involved.
Well, it is.
And just to share some new music with the community.
You know, like you, I know you started this as a young age, and
I didn't start anything.
well,
I was just invited to run the show after the fact.
yeah,
But yeah, I was a little younger then.
yeah. But I mean, your musical career is started at a young age.
Yeah, my first lessons I started when I was 10.
Yeah.
The rest is history.
And here you are.
I had my first church job when I was 11 years old.
Yeah,
As I look back on that, I'm like, it's incredible.
I know. Where did time go? But yet, look at the opportunities. You've been in a lot of places. I mean,
And I'm grateful to all the people that helped to teach me and to form my musical ways here.
Yeah.
And we got a great group in the choir. We got 43 singers this go around. Dan Miller's still our accompanist.
Yeah.
And
Last year you were a little short, weren't you? A few people.
No,
Maybe not.
no.
Maybe
We were-
One year you were down and then back up, and
at
been
the
a
height
while,
of
maybe.
COVID, we were down a little
Yeah.
bit. But we're back to where we need to be in the
Okay.
mid to high 40s. And
right, that's good. So you can fill up all the parts. Mm-hmm. That's great. So what else we got to look forward to here? We got the
Well, besides the Runestad, we'll do a piece by Brahms from the 19th century about a beautiful night, reflecting on light and water. We're going to sing probably one of the hardest pieces we've ever sung by Vytautas Miškinis, who's a Lithuanian composer, still alive. And the good choirs will go after his music just for his harmonic style and combining multiple keys at the same time. But he also has a heavy influence of Gregorian chant in his music. This piece is one of the hymns from the daily office. And you can hear the chant in it very clearly. We'll have an Irish folk song that'll feature one of the sopranos, Elizabeth McFadden, as the soloist. And then, not to bore anyone, but we will also have a couple of drinking songs to get the pirate element in there. This awesome arrangement by Robert Sund of the Drunken Sailor.
there you go.
And then a men's choir piece by Vaughan Williams, Down Among the Dead Men. And then we'll have a spiritual by Moses Hogan. We've explored his music before, but this one is My Soul's Been Anchored in the Lord.
Right. You know, if you were watching this and you think, oh, that's beyond, I'm not interested in that. Trust me, when you go to one of these concerts, even if you don't have a clue what's going on, it's very entertaining. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it because it's really that type of a program where it's always entertaining and yet you might learn something.
I always say that there's something for everybody.
Yeah.
And I don't ever want the music to feel, or the experience to feel like it's out of reach.
Right.
Music is a universal language. Whether or not we understand it, it still speaks to us in some way.
It does.
And if you're there, you can ask your friends who've been to a Blue Ridge Singers concert before, and Mike can attest to this.
Yeah.
I always talk about the pieces that we're going to sing, and not in some aleatoric way. I try to make it relatable to you so you can listen for things in the music, so you can latch on to at least the structure of the piece. And then when it's over, hopefully there'll be one or two pieces that you really remember, and then you'll know for the future that there will always be that one or two.
Yeah, there's always something to bring you back, isn't it?
That'll be your favorite.
Are you doing the reception afterwards at any of these?
They'll always be.
Because I always thought that was good to be able to go down and meet everyone and talk to them, and they're very open and they want to talk about the music and about this life in general. So.
Absolutely. We're happy to talk to the audience, to first express our gratitude for you being there, but just to get to know you a little bit better. That way, when you're there at a couple of concerts, then we know who you are.
All right, so what does this cost us?
Nothing.
Oh,
All Blue Ridge Singers concerts have always been free. The only thing we ask, if you can manage it, is a free will donation of $15.
Yeah.
And Mike Spory, who's our choir president, he'll get up and he'll talk about how our season has gone and what we're looking to do for next year. I can't get into it here, but we've got some big plans ahead for next year. Something, again, new.
Well, every year you try to make it better.
Well, we've got to up the ante. I mean, I don't ever want to instill complacency in the choir or the board or the audience in that this is the best it's ever going to be.
Right.
I will always find something.
Yeah. It's the always saying is someone brings you something or do it and you say, well, is that the best you can do? You don't have to critique it at all. You just ask them one question. Well, let me go back and practice some more. Right.
After last spring with the Misa Tango, I mean, the question I kept receiving at all of the receptions afterwards, so Dr. Alban, what are you going to do next to top this? So I've got it in my mind.
I'm going to say the wheels were turning, weren't they?
They're always turning. I am always in constant repertoire preparing mode.
Yeah.
So.
And as you travel around or just listening to things, you get ideas and also depending on the individuals in the chorus because they have to have the instrument to play, so their voice,
Every semester, the preparation is different, and it always makes me smile to see the choristers just come around to the repertoire.
Right.
That Michiganist piece I referenced before, it's very difficult because it's in a different harmonic language than we're used to doing. And I mean, several of the singers were like, I don't know if I like this. But this past Tuesday, we finally started to assemble the sections together. And I think some lights are beginning to go on. And by the time we get to the end of the semester, it'll probably be in their top 5 pieces they've ever sung. So
people like to be challenged, I think, and I think that
it's no fun if you're not being challenged.
It is. You're hesitant at first, but if you just kind of push them through it, they get to the other side and they say, "Oh, that wasn't so bad."
I always tell them, don't be afraid to sing. If a wrong note comes out, what's the worst that has to happen? We can fix it.
Yeah.
But if you're going to sit there being scared,
Well, I always say sometimes the audience doesn't know it was a bad note.
That's true. In music like this, though, one errant note will stand out.
Yeah, it will stick out. Oh, it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
But we're always going for good expression in the music and to make it memorable for the listener. Yeah. And when we're in rehearsal, we talk about all the musical components, and I try to teach the choir how the pieces are put together, why the certain notes are there, how they're written. And I will mention some of this, too, at the concert. Just to help educate the audience just a little bit.
It's always great. Well, let's go over the dates one more time.
Sure. Here's our flyer. I'm sure Mike will put this up.
Yeah, I will.
But if you see it hanging in a window somewhere, the first concert, again, is on Friday, April 25th at the Front Royal Presbyterian Church at 7:30 p.m. Second one is Sunday, April 27th at 3 p.m. at the First Baptist Church of Winchester. Tuesday, April 29th at All Saints Catholic Church in Manassas. That's at 7:30. And then the last one is Sunday, May 4th, following Apple Blossom at 3 p.m. at the Trinity Episcopal Church in Upperville. Hopefully it'll be nice weather. It's always a nice ride out there.
Sure.
The property is beautiful. And it's a great room as well.
I was going to say the acoustics are pretty good there. Yeah. Well, it sounds like you have a really great season planned and a great program, and we want to encourage people to, one of those dates fit your schedule and show up because it's a great evening. Doesn't really cost you anything. It does help if you provide a few shekels. That's great to do that because the money goes right back into the performance. The music's not cheap. I can tell you, buying music is not.
Well, you should know as a person that prints things.
I know it's not cheap.
Nothing is cheap anymore.
Nothing is cheap. But to get the good stuff, and you want to stay current, and you've always done that. So I want to encourage people to show up to the meeting. If you're here in Front Royal, the Presbyterian Church is a great location, plenty of seating. and it just got a nice sound in it. So I want to encourage people to do that. Don't think this is a Catholic only thing. This is
no.
music, and it's for me. It's for everyone.
And I just want to add here too, the season is coming to an end, so auditions will be open for next season. You can visit our website, which is www.blueridgesingers.org. All the audition information is there. We're always looking for new singers, especially tenors and basses. But if you like what you've heard at previous Blue Ridge Singers concerts and you got just a little bit of interest in music, I will help you get there the rest of the way. But I'll hear auditions through the end of June. So please do go sign up if you're interested.
Yeah, don't think you can't sing, because there might be a place for you. You never know until sometimes you just need a little help.
Right. And don't let the word audition scare you away.
Yeah.
It's just merely a way for me to know that you have some musical inkling, but more importantly, that you're put into the correct section.
Yeah.
Because we don't ever want to do any vocal damage.
Right. We appreciate you coming in, sharing this with us, and we'll see you in one of these concerts.
Well, thank you for always having us here.
Oh,
for
we
helping
love
to
it.
promote
We love it.
this
I think
stuff.
it's a great program, and I want to encourage people to attend.
Thanks.
Thanks, Jeff.